Hello everybody, this is Lucy Nathanson, child therapist and founder of confidentchildren.co.uk. So today's video is about what to say when people make unhelpful comments about your child with selective mutism. And this happens all the time. It is so frustrating, so frustrating. And this is a question that I get asked all the time. What should I say when the lady in the shop says, "Why aren't you talking?" Or "Are you shy?" Or what should I say when a family member makes an unhelpful comment like, "Oh, are you going to talk to me today?" Or "Oh, she's still not talking, is she?" Or even a friend can make a really innocent, unhelpful comment like, "Oh, she doesn't talk, she never talks," or he doesn't talk at school. So this happens all the time from both children and adults, and both outside of school, so in public when you come across people in your life, in the supermarket, and also with familiar people, so family, friends, extended family, and also at school. So staff members sometimes unintentionally make those unhelpful comments, and like I said, peers can also make unhelpful comments about your child not talking. And like I said, these are often unintentional. The person doesn't mean to cause any harm. They're just making an observation that your child doesn't talk, or asking a question. But these can really set the child with selective mutism back. So what is my advice in these situations? So I've got a 3-step plan for you to do in these situations. Number 1 is counter comment. Number 2 is distract or divert. And number 3 is educate. So I'll go through each of these. So number 1, counter comment. So you're out and about and someone makes an unhelpful comment like, "Oh, is she shy?" Or, "Oh, is she not talking?" So we want to counter the comment, that statement. So we'll say something like, "Oh, she's a real chatterbox at home." Or if you're at school and somebody says, "Oh, she doesn't talk at school," you'll say, "Oh, she does talk to," insert friend that she talks to, or "She talks a lot at home to this friend," or he talks to you on play dates, doesn't he?" So we want to make a counter comment stating that your child does talk sometimes, because they do talk sometimes. So think of an example of a situation that your child can talk in and use that as a counter comment when these unhelpful comments are said. So, "Oh, she's very shy. Oh, you should hear her at home. She's a real chatterbox at home." Or "She does talk to this person," or "You know that she can talk. She talks to you on play dates." So the first step, counter comment. And like I said, this can also work with adults as well. So "You should hear her at home," that kind of thing. Number 2, we want to basically get off the topic as quickly as possible. We don't want to be discussing this in front of your child. It's really not helpful and will only be increasing the anxiety because attention is being drawn to their selective mutism. And we know that doesn't help. So after we make that quick counter comment, number 2 is distract or divert. So if you're with peers and they make a comment, you say, "Oh, you know she talks to this person. Anyway, right, let's carry on with the Lego," or "Should we have a look over here at whatever?" So you're going to distract. And with adults, you can do the same. So you make that comment back, "You know, she talks a lot at home. And so, we just want to ask about," if you're in the supermarket, "just want to ask about the, where the tomatoes are," or whatever. So basically you want to get off the topic as quickly as possible. Counter comment, distract or divert. Number 3 is educate. We want to get away from that person, distract, divert, get away from that person, or move on to another topic. Then later on, when your child is not there, we want to educate this person about selective mutism. And we don't have to go into a lot of detail. And by the way, we only need to do this step 3, the educate step, if this is a person that your child will be coming into contact with regularly. So if it is an extended family member, we want to educate them so they don't do it again. If it's a staff member at school, we also want to educate them so they don't do it again. And equally peers, so we want to educate them. If it's a stranger that you've just bumped into in the shop and they've made an unhelpful comment, you've done the counter comment, you've distracted, you're on your way, and you're never going to see them again, there's no need to educate that person. So we're only educating people who your child is going to be seeing regularly. So the person's made an unhelpful comment, it's the situation. Video just paused. So the situation is over, and then later on I don't know what's happening with my phone. The situation is over. And then you want to just approach them and say, so my child has selective mutism, and it really doesn't help them if we make comments about them not talking. Actually, it increases her or his anxiety, and it makes it actually harder for them to talk. The best thing that you can do is just be friendly to my child and not make any attention, don't draw any attention to the fact that they're not talking, and don't make any comments about them not talking. And by taking the attention away from the fact that they're not talking, this will actually help them to start feeling more comfortable in front of you. And actually, ironically, the more that we don't focus on the fact that they're unable to talk, the more they'll be able to talk with time. So we want to educate this person. So with adults, we can have that conversation, and with children, we can also have that conversation. We can explain to peers that we know that, Sarah finds it hard to talk at school, and actually the more that we ask her why she doesn't talk or talk about her not talking, that just makes it harder for her to talk. So the best thing to do is to just act normally with her and don't say anything about her not talking. And as you probably know, I've got a few videos on YouTube specifically for children. There's a video called Video to Show the Class that can be shown to the class, and it's already been shown in schools all around the world. And I just explained in about 4 minutes to the class, there's someone in your class who finds it hard to talk at school, and this is what you can do to help them. So I recommend that this video is shown to your child's class without your child there, so that the class is educated on how to act, because how would they know otherwise? Equally, I do have a book called Why Doesn't Alice Talk at School? And that Alice book the purpose of that book is another way that we can communicate the same messages to the class. So that book can be read to the class to explain to them that they shouldn't be making comments about your child not talking. So I will link in the comments below the videos that can be shown to the class, which are on YouTube, so you can find them easily if you feel that will be useful in your child's case. And like I said, your child should not be present when the video is being shown. So those are some ways to deal with those unhelpful comments. Number one, make a counter comment. We want to just kind of disregard what the person's saying as quickly as possible to help your child not feel so uncomfortable. We want to say, of course she can talk. She talks a lot at home, or she talks a lot to this person. And then we want to distract or divert and say, anyway, and you just change the subject. After you've changed the subject, you move on. Later on, you catch that person if they are somebody who you're going to be in regular contact with, or if your child is going to be in regular contact with. And we want to educate them on selective mutism. We want to say to them and explain to them with compassion that, my child finds it really hard to talk at school in some situations. That's because she has selective mutism, or he has selective mutism, and this is a way that we can help them. And it's by not drawing attention to it and actually not really mentioning it at all, just being friendly towards them and just communicating with them, but not asking them any questions or any questions that need a verbal response, and just treating them normally. And that's the best way for them to feel comfortable with time. And I know that it can be really difficult to talk to people about this, extended family members perhaps, or school staff. It can be quite uncomfortable to have those conversations and to tell them not to do things. So my advice here is to blame it on me. Say that you've watched a video by a selective mutism specialist, and in this video, the specialist has recommended that you speak to people in your child's life and tell them or request that they don't ask your child anything about them talking, or not draw attention to the fact they're not talking, and just ignore the fact that they have selective mutism, and just not in front of the child make those comments. So blame it on me. Say that you've watched this video and you've been asked to have a conversation with everyone in your child's life to not make any comments about the child talking in front of them, because it can really be unhelpful in an unintentional way. So I think that is everything I wanted to share with you today. I hope you found this video useful. If you're here, please say hello so I know you're here. So let me just read some comments here. Oh, great. So some Joanna and Ebba are going to share this in Sweden. That is amazing. Fantastic. Thank you. Hope it will be useful for you. Danielle says, my daughter's school told me today it's hard for them because they've never dealt with someone with selective mutism before. I completely understand. It's not a very common condition. So, you know, even though it is not very common, there are strategies out there that we can implement to help children with selective mutism. And I've got a lot of videos on the topic. So please feel free to share my YouTube channel with your child's school. I've got loads of videos. Also have an online training course which you can find through my website, confidentchildren.co.uk, and that will also help the school. But there are a lot of resources out there, and it's absolutely fine if they've never helped a child with selective mutism before, but we know how to help children with SM. They just need to put the intervention and the strategies in place, and then that will help them to make steps forward. Oh, and Danielle said, what is my YouTube? So if you go onto YouTube and just write Lucy Nathanson or Confident Children Lucy Nathanson, my videos will come up. I will, in fact, post it in the comments below to make it easier for you to find. And also, why don't you share this Facebook page with them, Confident Children Selective Mutism Therapy, and tell the teacher that there's this Facebook page, and there are other Facebook pages as well with resources all about selective mutism. The more that staff are educated on the topic, the better for sure. Oh, hello Sandhya, and hello Lorna, nice to see you both. So lovely that you're here with us. And Sandhya says that my son is not diagnosed with SM, but he still struggles with talking with people. And do you know what? In my opinion, it doesn't really matter if a child has a diagnosis or a formal diagnosis of SM or not. If they're not talking in some situations, then the same strategies will help them to increase their talking. So we want to be creating that supportive environment and putting the strategies in place. And it doesn't matter if they have a diagnosis or not. This, you know, it's important that we start a small steps plan to support them with that. Okay, so I hope that you have found this video useful. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that next time someone makes an unhelpful comment, like she's very shy or she doesn't talk at school or why doesn't she talk at school, I hope after watching this video it will be a little bit more easier for you to deal with those kind of situations. So thanks for being here, and I hope you all have a lovely rest of the day. Feel free to share any of my videos and resources with all the people in your child's life. Take care. Bye.